Welcome to Home of Politics. Ladies and gentlemen, today being the day that Kenya Kwanza government is unveiling their team which will participate in the talk with the Azimio la Umoja coalition. This team comprises of 5 people and I will read their names. The first one is Honorable Ichungwa, the leader of majority. We have Senator Aoron Cheruiyot, the leader of majority in the Senate. The previous one was the leader of majority in the National Assembly. We have Governor Cecily Mbarire. We have Honorable Hassn, Omar, and Honorable Catherine Wambilianga. These are the people who will represent the Kenya Kwanza government in the talk with Azimio la Umoja coalition. I had earlier mentioned the team that will represent the Azimio la Umoja coalition. Just to remind you, Kalonzo Musyoka, Amina Mnyanzi, Opiyo Wandayi, Eugene Wamalwa, and Okongo Omugeni. My good people, there is the new agenda of Kenya Kwanza, and just to remind you about it, the first agenda was reconstitutioning of IEBC Commission. The second one, implementation of two-third general. The third one, entrenchment of the constituency development fund. We have another one, establishment and entrenchment of the office of the leader of opposition. The fifth one, we have embedment of the prime cabinet secretaries, the office of the prime cabinet secretary. My good people, following closely and keenly about the Kenya Kwanza's team, we can analyze one by one basing on their regions where they come from. Just the same way we did with the team that represents the Azimio la Umoja. The first one here, Kimani Ichungwa, is from UDA. He comes from Central Kenya. We have Aoron Cherargei. He comes from Rift Valley region. We have Cecily Mbarire. He comes from Mount Kenya region. We have Hassn Omar. Hassn Omar comes from Mandera. We also have Catherine Wambilianga. Catherine Wambilianga comes from Bungoma, representing the Western region. My good people, Kenya Kwanza are the people who are very clever because they have been hesitating to select their team and to be quick in making decisions because they wanted to study the tricks of Azimio la Umoja. If we can compare this list of people from UDA and Azimio la Umoja, we see they have been chasing on them so much because the Kenya Kwanza have based on the major areas where they had scored so many votes during the election. And these areas include the northeastern of Kenya, we have the Rift Valley of Kenya, we have the western region, we also have the Mount Kenya region, central region. And you see, this is where most of the votes were gathered, and he has put there the reinforcement where these people are coming from. And we see for the Azimio la Umoja, these people have put reinforcement in their areas too, like coastal region, western region. We also see the Nyanza region. That is where it has been dominated. My good people, my concern here is about these agendas that have been displayed. We see the agendas of Azimio la Umoja, just to brief you, they were 4. They were addressing high cost of living, auditing of 2022 election, we have bipartisan reconstitutioning of IEBC, and finally inclusivity in the national affairs. Now we come to the agendas of Kenya Kwanza government. The first one, reconstitutioning of the IEBC Commission, implementation of the two-third gender rule, entrenchment of Constitutional Development Fund. We also have establishment and entrenchment of the office of the leader of opposition. We have embedment of the office of the prime cabinet secretary. If you compare these agendas from both sides, we see the priority of Azimio la Umoja is high cost of living, but to the Kenya Kwanza's government, there is nothing like that that have been addressed. And we don't know if they will come on a conclusion on this, because that one, I think things will be tough on the discussion. But to make things simple here, we see there is some connection, close connection between these agendas from two sides. We see agenda like bipartisan reconstitutioning of the IEBC Commission. The same agenda is being found in the Kenya Kwanza. That one is reconstitutioning of the IEBC Commission. Then we have the second one from Azimio la Umoja, inclusivity in the national affairs. Then here in the Kenya Kwanza's government, we have establishment and entrenchment of the office of the leader of opposition. Then just to ask a question, how will it possible for the opposition to be included in the national affairs if they have not accepted or agreed upon the issue of or agenda of establishment of the office of the leader of the opposition by the Kenya Kwanza's government? Then this one means here, in order for them to be included in the national affairs of Kenya Kwanza government, then they have to accept for the government to create an opposition office where the leader of opposition, for instance, Raila Amolo Odinga, will have his own special office or official office where they will be addressing their issues and air out their grievances through that office. And this office will be in a position to control the opposition on what they should do and how they should conduct themselves and how they should address the government. And so here the challenge is, we are not sure if these people will agree or will not, but some conditions here are very tough. Then the issue of bipartisan reconstitutioning of IEBC, the same agenda is found in the Kenya Kwanza's agenda. And up to that, we see that there are possibilities that these issues might be agreed upon, but not all of them will be agreed upon. And we've seen recently there have been a secret meeting between Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Samoei Ruto in Mombasa. It was a secret one, but it was known. So there is a possibility that even the sitting and the discussion of these talks has already been concluded by these two bosses who met in Mombasa. And for officiality or for formality cases, this is when these two parties will come together as a team to discuss. Because if you see the list of those people who will be discussing here, there is not the name of Raila Amolo Odinga, there is not the name of William Samoei Ruto. And it means these two had done their meeting before these two teams are yet to meet and discuss. And I don't know what you are thinking about this, because having close related agendas in these two teams, there might be a possibility of arriving to conclusion in a safe way. But there is also a possibility that some of agendas like high cost of living and the issue of revisiting of auditing of 2022 elections, then there's a possibility that some of the issues will be agreed upon and some of the issues they may disagree from each other depending on their basis of argument. And remember, it is strict in the side of Kenya Kwanza's government, because here they are saying avoidance of doubt, as agreed, there shall be no discussion of whatever nature of matters of handshake or nusu mkate. This means that they should stick to the agendas and the government will not entertain any sense of sharing of power in the name of nusu mkate or handshake or creating bearable relationship between these two parties. And so, send me your ideas about it and please continue following up on my updates so that you don't miss out on important information. Have a good day.